Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for our Discover webinar, Accounts Payable Simplified. Today, you'll discover how accounts payable can automate your processes to save you time and money. And our discussion today is going to be led by Jennifer Nelson, our support engineer here at Saran. And Jen has been with us for 9 years, but has used the program for over 26 years. So definitely excited to hear Jen's presentation today. Other members of our team with us include Alex Clay, our CEO, Sherry Snedden, our support manager, Chris Widener, our marketing specialist, Christy Sauls, our support technician, and myself, Julianne Manning, our product specialist. We want to take a moment to highlight our next Discover webinar, which will be held on July 14th, which will be Ministry on the Move. And during this webinar, we'll be highlighting several tools available on CDM Plus Mobile. So make sure to check it out and sign up today. And you can sign up for Ministry on the Move or any of our upcoming Discover webinars on cdmplus.com/discover 2026. Feel free to check it out. Beyond our Discover webinars, we offer different virtual trainings such as our Successful Bookkeeping and our Successful Contributions trainings. These are available for purchase at cdmplus.com/training. These are great trainings that you can purchase for your team. They go over a lot more in depth into these different programs. And also on this site, you can schedule a personal training if you need some custom tailored training for your organization's database. So definitely check that out if that's something that you and your team need. But Discover webinars and online trainings, they are great, but truly, truly, nothing beats the opportunity for that in-person training that happens at our annual users conference. And our annual users conference is September 22nd through 24th in Charleston, West Virginia. Not only do you get to talk with our team face to face, but it really is a great time of connection where you get to meet users from all over the country and hear about how they utilize CDM Plus. So if you haven't already signed up, definitely check it out. We're still in our early bird window, so definitely this is the best time to take advantage of that opportunity. And a really cool thing that we're having this year is what we're calling our core track. This track is designed with new staff members in mind to really get them up to speed in a hurry. And the core track, it really does cut straight to what matters with a focus on the core CDM Plus programs that you use daily and what their practical use is. Again, definitely lots of good things going on at AUC. And another cool thing that we're just going to announce here today, or it's the first time we're really announcing it, but one of my roles here as product specialist is to really gather feedback from our clients. And so at the AUC this year, I will be leading focus groups over specific topics in CDM Plus. And these focus groups are going to really allow your voice and feedback to be heard while we're working to build the next generation of CDM Plus. And I'm really excited to chat with those who participate, to hear your thoughts and your input. So definitely be on the lookout for more details to come. But again, just another reason to sign up and participate in our annual users conference this year. And without further ado, Jen, we're going to send it over to you.
Well, I'm excited to talk about the accounts payable side of things. I used to do this all the time for our church and even when I worked at the state office. And so one thing that's really nice about our accounts payable is it helps streamline your workflow, especially when you have a lot of bills that you need to pay within that week. Instead of maybe if you go to the ledger and you put in a check and you save it and then you print it and so on, you can add those invoices as you go and then just mark them and pay them all at once, which is something we're going to show you today. Doing things like that just allows that process to get a little more streamlined. It helps with your time, so you can do it a little bit faster and have a little more time to do other things at work. The other thing that it's great is you can manage your vendors. If you have the payments marked to vendors, you can go back in and we'll show you how you can see past payments and past invoices that have been made to those particular vendors. You can also set up recurring payments, which is really nice if you have some things that are just done every month and you don't want to have to retype in those invoices each month. You can just create that recurring and then have that generated invoice whenever you're ready. The first thing I want to show you is our vendor records. Vendor records is where you keep track of the very thing, all the vendors, the different people that you make payments to, and credit cards and different things like that. It holds all of the information so that you don't have to re-put it in every time you go to do a check. But it also allows you to see that history as well. We're going to kind of put in a little bit of, I have some of the information put in here, but I want to show you how easy it is. You just click add and you can put in your vendor's name. If you do 1099s, you want to have this information here put in because that's how it puts on that 1099 form. If that vendor has an address record, so like let's say in this case we have that, you have the option to link it to the address record that's in your system. Where that is nice is anytime let's say the other secretary changes and updates that address, it's going to automatically update the address here in the vendor record. I know when we used to work at the state office, we didn't have this link option at the time. And there would be times that they would make changes to somebody and we would go and write them a check, but we didn't know that change. And so it would get mailed to their old home and come back to us. Having this link to address record is really helpful for that. So everything is always kept up to date and linked. You don't have to do that, but this is a great option if it is somebody that you keep in the address records. You can put in their email address. If it's a company that has a website and you want that information all in here, you can do that as well. If they have an account number, you can do that. If you want that to print on the memo line of the check, you can just simply check that. It's going to print. So we have all these different options. And the other thing that's nice about a vendor record, let's say in this case, Andrew does most of our general maintenance and we're either going to, give them a 1099 for that or, we've reimbursed him for things, whatever the reason. But the majority of the time we pay him or write him a check, it's going to go out of this account. You can set the default account so when you create the invoice, by default, it's going to come up with that account number. You can overwrite it if it needs to go to someplace different. But again, it's another way to save time. You don't have to click your chart of accounts, try to find which account number it goes to. It's just automatically going to pull that default account up there for you. And for someone who at the office, we had a lot of account numbers and I could never remember them. This was a beautiful thing, something that I really liked. If they're a 1099, you can simply select the 1099 that they're for, and then you can put in their ID here. So that's always really helpful. In fact, we'll go ahead and leave this person as a 1099. If it's a credit card company that you want to pay to, you can select this as a credit card company, and I'll show you how that works when we get into the invoices. But you can mark things to be paid as the credit card, and it just accrues as the month goes. And then when it's time to pay that credit card, you can click on that, and I'll show you where you'll see that, and you can make that payment. But it has to be marked as a credit card company here. Miscellaneous is something that you have a one-off, say, I'm just writing this one person a check, not going to do it again. I don't really want them as a vendor. You can utilize miscellaneous for that. It's just another great way to keep up with things. You can view the invoices that you've made in the past. You can see them right here. And if you click it, it gives you the detailed line items that were in that invoice. And the same goes for payments. You can see the different payments that have been made. And if you double click this, it's going to take you to the ledger entry so you can see what that payment looked like and things like that. If for some reason it's not marked for 1099 and it should, you can toggle this line item here and it will mark that. And so it gives you a lot of great, I like that you can keep up and keep track of everything all at once instead of printing ledger reports and trying to highlight the line items of the things that you've paid for a specific person. It's going to keep it all in here for you. The other thing that's nice, we were talking about recurring transactions. Let's say we pay this person the same time, every month, a specific amount, or I've got a lot of line items that I have in a specific bill or something like that, and I don't want to have to keep putting those line items in. You can create a recurring transaction for that particular vendor. And in here, when you do it, you just add the transaction. You can choose what day of the month. that you want it to be posted as. So in this case, let's just say we want it to go for the 5th. You can put in whatever description you want. Notice, because I had that account number set as the default, it automatically chose that. But if I wanted something different, I can click here and I can choose a different account number if I want to. And then I just put in my description. Let's see, I'll just write bill and then put in whatever amount I want that to be for. I can mark it if I need this to be for 1099 or what have you. If I need more lines on that invoice, I can do that. However many lines you want, however detailed you want. What this is going to do is create the line items you want in that particular invoice when you go to create the recurring transaction. So we'll go ahead and do a second line just so you can see what that looks like. We'll just select this and we'll just do VBS. All right, so when we're done, we're going to hit save. Now all that information is in there. So we've got everything set up for our vendors. Though when you go to do recurring, I want to show you this. CDM Plus does not automatically on the 5th of each month create that invoice for you. And the reason for that is, what if something needs changed? So let's say you don't need that $200 for like this particular month. Well, you can go in and tell it you don't want it for that month and make the corrections. If we automatically created that for you, you could potentially have a mess on your hands of invoices that were created that you didn't mean to have created, or you forgot that you had this recurring transaction in the system and it keeps creating this recurring invoice. Here you choose that. And so on here, I have the day of the month. So there's the 1st and the 5th. These are some other recurrings that I have. I can choose if I want to create it for June, or I can set and say, you know what, I'm working ahead. I'm going to be on vacation. I want to work for July. It's saying, do you want to reset all the invoice dates? And what that means is, do I want them for July? Well, I do. I'm working ahead. And so you can sit and you can mark them and you can view this and you can make the changes. If I click it, you can make the changes as needed right here. And then instead of it being $500, it might create it for $100. And then we'll go ahead and create these invoices so we can use them in the future. And so recurring is great. I didn't have to re-put in all those line items. I didn't have to do anything like that. So things that you know you have all the time, recurring is a great way to save you, again, more time. Set it all up ahead of time. The other thing is the invoice window. This is where I tend to camp out a lot. This is where you will create what bills that you need to pay. And you'll see those recurring records or invoices that you've created. If you do payroll and you post payroll, those taxes, if you have it set up to come in here, when you post the payroll, the taxes will go in here waiting for you to go ahead and pay it. You don't have to keep making all of those invoices in the ledger. You put it here, we'll mark it, we post it, it puts it in the ledger for you. So some people maybe only pay their bills, let's say once a month, but you're getting invoices as the month goes. You could come in here and just keep adding them. Then when it comes time to actually pay the bill, you don't have to put in, 30 checks at once. It's already in here and you can just mark them. And if you notice, we've got some here that have kind of been built up over time. And that's what happens. They'll just sit there until you're ready to pay them. To add it, you just simply click add or multi-add, and you put in the name or what you know of the vendor, and it pulls it up. Choose the vendor you want, put how much you want in here. You can put your date that you want in here. If I just do 12, it's going to give me June 12th because that's the current month that I'm in. But if I was going to go with working ahead, I would have to type in the month of July. And we'll just do that since I've got that going. If the bill has an invoice number, you can put that in. It does both letters and numbers in there. By default, if that a vendor has a default account number, it's going to show up in here. If I need to change it, just click here and I can change it. And we can just do supplies. Well, if I can take. And then only $100 went for that, and the rest maybe went for his general maintenance. It's going to allow you to keep adding as many lines as you want until it's in balance or until it comes up with the total that you had. And you just simply hit enter and you save it. If I had done multi-add, it would give me a new record and I can just start going again. So we would just create a little stack of all of our bills and just start typing away. Whenever you're done, then you go in here and you can go into your mark invoices to pay. In the mark invoices to pay, there's a couple of things that you're going to see. You can see obviously all those invoices that we have created in here, but you can also see accrued invoices. And actually, I want to go back. I forgot. I wanted to show you there is another way to get invoices right here. Before we go into mark invoices, sorry about that. CDM Mobile, we have something called mobile receipts. I love mobile receipts. You can just take a picture of the receipt and have it create an invoice. This is what it looks like in the invoice record when you use mobile receipts. You can tell the source, it says CDM Mobile, but you also can see the receipt under user fields. So in here, you can see that the type was a mobile scan. Here is the name that it named for you when they did the picture. You can preview the receipt. If you just want to see what the receipt looks like, you can sit and do that. Or you can hit retrieve and allow it to save to your computer, and that will save, whoops, that'll save that receipt right there to your computer. So it's just a great way. If you have a lot of people who have different credit cards and you have a hard time getting receipts from them, you can have them try mobile receipts. They can take a picture right then. I use it a lot for church because I don't always get over there to give her the receipts, for reimbursements or what have you. But I can use my phone to take a picture of that receipt and create an invoice, and my secretary sees it right away. So this is just something I didn't want to forget to show you because personally, it's a great one to use. The other thing on here is our credit card companies, and I'll show you what this means with accrued. This one's ready now to get paid for a credit card, but it was created from a different vendor, and I'll show you what I mean here. So when we go into mark invoices, now that we're here, these are those things. Here's one of those mobile receipts that was created down here. It looks just like any other invoice. There are just the other ones here that we've created, whether it's from the recurring or we created the invoice themselves. If you go to accrued, you can see these are those ones, how I was saying, you can just continue to build on receipts maybe that somebody gave you. You can accrue them and it just adds up all of the different invoices. They would be listed right in here, totaling what the amount due is for that particular credit card company. And I think American Express had a couple. So you can see how it has, and then you can choose to either pay the full amount or you can pay a little lower of amount. But just to show you that it does build there, so you can see that accrue. It gives that vendor that you initially had, and shows that invoice. But then when you pay it, you're paying the credit card company and not, Walmart or what have you. The one thing that's really nice about mark invoices to pay, and again, another time saver, you can mark them to have a check printed. You can mark them for auto draw. So where you just print it on a piece of paper, it kind of looks like a check. We use it for a receipt for our things that are done automatically online and they're paid, which a lot of people are moving to that. We usually print like the email that says, hey, here's what was paid out of your checking account. And we put it in here and we print the auto draw so we know that we've put it into CDM Plus so that it's accounted for. You can also mark it for a credit card, which would make it go into this right here. But you can do it all at once. So we're going to pay the gas company and say Andrew checks, but let's say cash has already been paid, online. So we're going to have that marked as auto draw. And let's say the publishing house will mark that for credit card. Now, there's a couple of things. You can choose which asset you want this to get paid out of. You can do more than one at a time. What will happen is it's just going to pull up for one asset. You do all that payment. You pull up write checks again to get the second one. but you are able to choose right here which asset you want it to come out of. Same with the credit card. You might have more than one different credit card company. So in this case, we're going to put it to American Express because that's what they used um, to pay their bill was published for the publishing house. So we have all this marked. Down here, we can see we have $500 in checks that are going to get printed. $30 is going to accrue to the American Express, and $200 is going to go as an auto draw. It's not going to take a physical check number, but it is going to print me something out that looks like a check, however we designed it in the setup. And then all of this will post to the ledger for us. We simply click save. We want to go to the right checks. So what will happen here, and again, another streamlining thing, it's going to give you all the check numbers that are going to print, but then it also has auto draw. You might even find auto draw is kind of in the middle of your list of check numbers. That's okay. CDM is going to print all of the checks first, and then it will print the auto draw. No matter what you see here, as far as where auto draw is placed, it will do your check numbers first and then the auto draw. You can see your starting check number. If it needs change, you can adjust it there. And then you can obviously see how many you need or what have you. Get them into the printer. You can see your balance here. So you can know exactly how much was paid out, what your balance is going to be for that particular asset right there. And so when I click write checks, I'm going to go ahead and print it to the screen. So notice it did the gas company, and then down here you're going to see Andrew. Those are the checks. Now it's wanting me to print the auto draw. And here is my auto draw. And notice here, instead of a check number, it took auto draw because that's how we have our auto draw check done. So when it's done printing everything, it's going to automatically post. It's posting all of my checks and all of my auto draws in one hit. So all I have to do is put in those invoices. I can mark them however I need them marked, auto draw a check or what have you. But in one thing in that right checks window, it's printing everything and it's going to post it all into the ledger. So it keeps my books up. I don't have to create each ledger entry for every single check I did. The system is going to create that for you. It'll have a ledger entry for each check. But all you had to do was hit post and print. So it's just AP is a great way to save time. You can get your bills paid really fast. I mean, if you have it sitting down there, depending on how fast you key, get everything all keyed in, create your recurrings if you have recurrings all done, and then just print them and post them. And everything just goes right into the ledger for you. It's honestly not hard. Your biggest thing is getting things set up. You want to set up your vendor records. You want to set up obviously your check and stuff like that. But when you have everything set up, this is such a fast way to do our bills and everything. So if you haven't used it, I really want to encourage you to try it. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you have any, struggles with it or questions about it, our support team is great and they'll be able to help you get it set up, show you how to use it if needed, or what have you. And of course, the users conference, I teach this one. And so you can ask all kinds of questions there. We have a lot of fun with it. I hope that gives you a great kind of a picture of what our accounts payable section does. Does anybody have any questions on anything with that?
I think Loretta was asking about if you could show mobile receipts again.
I can. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share my phone. All right. So I'm going to log in to mobile. And if you look here on the bottom left, you're going to see receipts. If you click receipts, you fill this out. So if they have a receipt, you can click add scan and you can choose to do it from photos or you can scan a receipt. I'm going to click scan a receipt. And I've got a little notepad here and I just hit the little image button. If I like it, I can hit use image. And so the receipt now shows up there. You can choose whichever date you want the receipt. So let's say I'm a day behind and that was done yesterday. I can choose whatever date I want and hit confirm. Who I need the check written out to. So we'll just click cash. He's right here. If the invoice has a number, you can choose that right here and put that number in. Um, Down here, if I'm pointing like you can see my phone, my finger, you can see the account number. Right now, you're seeing a list of all of the account numbers, but you can scroll down and either use the default that that vendor has, or they can choose something else. And in the case of cash, he had that default vendor, so it automatically put that in there as well. The description, you can put whatever you want. I'll just do office. And then the amount of the invoice. And if they need to break down the amount, you can do that under the add breakdown as well. And then when you click save, it's going to put it all into CDM, and I'll show you. My phone has been loving me lately, so it takes just a quick second. So now it says the save is successful. I click OK. I'm going to turn off my phone. And right here is that receipt that we just did for mobile. So it is right away. You can see it. You can click on the invoice. There's that information. There's where I typed in office and all of that. And when I click the user field, I can preview and I can see that receipt. And if I need to download it, I can hit retrieve. Personally, I love it. I see there's somebody treasurer that has their hand raised.
Yeah, this is Rita Hollander from Hope Church. I don't know why it's just calling me treasurer today. But I had a question. I use this a lot. And for some of the vendors where they always do the same kind of stuff, I do have a default account number set up. But when you create the recurring invoice, and then you need to add lines or change lines, and so you don't use so you insert a line and you put a different account number. The thing that gets me over and over again, if I don't pay real close attention, is that even though you've changed the account number on that line, when you insert the next line, it's going to put the default back in there, and
that is correct.
That has tricked me more than once.
Yeah, the default account number is great, but because it's set as a default account number, the system thinks anytime you create a line for that's where you're wanting that to go to. So it's a really good thing to mention, that it's always going to put that in. So you'll have to change it if that's not what you want it to be for. I'm glad you use it and enjoy the recurring, especially. That's really great. Yeah. Well, good. There any? I don't know. I didn't see the chat to see if there's anything else in there.
So Loretta, she's asking, so all of my purchasers need to download the mobile app, right?
Correct. They would need to use CDM mobile and download it. You would set them up, and support can help you with that. Our help center has a section on CDM mobile, so it can show you how you would provision each of their devices. But yes, they would have to use the app on their phone or whichever device they use.
In the mark invoices to pay, going to the right checks window, can you show them how they can see the invoice number in the right checks window?
Yes. So when you click the little arrow, there's your invoice number for it. As well as like if you had the description, that will go up down here as well. You can see it. So anything after the little dash, it's on that second line. When you click the little arrow that's right next to it, that kind of expands. Good question. That's one that gets missed sometimes.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much, Jen, for kind of just giving us a taste of what CDM Plus's accounts payables can do. I do just want to highlight our successful bookkeeping with CDM Plus training. There's a whole session on accounts payable that Jen actually does during this training, and so she goes into much bigger detail on like the nitty-gritty training of accounts payable. So that is included in the successful bookkeeping training, as well as accounting from A to B. I know I saw someone mention that they are new to accounting. I hear ya. I would not count my accounting skills either, but CDM Plus accounting really does make it easy. And so this training is a really great resource that you can, once you purchase it, it's yours to have. You can share with your team. So definitely a great option. And of course, we're going to have a whole section on accounting as well as accounts payable and accounts receivable at our annual users conference as well. So just a couple of our resources available to you that kind of goes into depth of what you can do with accounts payable. and Ministry on the Move. So again, this is our next Discover webinar, and we will be talking a little bit more about the tools, including, I believe, mobile receipts. So I know there are some more questions on how to get this set up, how to download mobile. Definitely feel free to sign up for the webinar that will kind of go into detail as well. Or again, it just gives you that taste of what mobile can do. Our support team, we regularly get 5 stars. They are an amazing group that are willing and able to help you. They understand where you're coming from. They understand your perspective. Many of them have sat in the seat that you're sitting in. So definitely reach out, support@cdmplus.com. They can handle any question that you'd like. Thank you so much for coming here today and to listen to Accounts Payable Simplified. We hope that we see you at our next Discover webinar on July 14th. And we also hope that we see you at the Annual Users Conference this fall. So have a great rest of your day. Thank you.